My name is Kimberley Healey. I work at the Queen Victoria Hospital in East Grinstead. I am a sleep physiologist and I did the Level 4 Healthcare Science in Respiratory and Sleep Science.
Would you mind explaining the duties of your job role and what does sort of an average day look like for you in your day of work?
Absolutely. So my average day of work looks like either face-to-face patient clinics or telephone clinics, and I'm either reviewing CPAP patients, so patients have been put on CPAP, or when they're coming face-to-face, we're doing either reviews on their therapy, or we are doing like mask refits and things like that, CBGs, blood pressures, home respiratory polygraphy tests. And obviously I do some nights as well. So during the night shifts, we have patients come in for polysonographies and polygraphies in-house, and we wire them all up and watch them on the computer screens that I've got in the background here. Respiratory polygraphy is where we monitor a patient's respiratory effort and throughout the night see if they've got any forms of sleep disorder breathing. A polysonography is where we go one step further and we put electrodes on the head and we monitor their brain activity to be able to see what stage of sleep they're in. Again, they still have the respiratory belts on as well, so we can monitor their respiratory effort. And yeah, we get an overview of how they're sleeping during the night.
Fantastic. So the next question, because that's quite an interesting subject really. How did you find yourself and how did you go into this career path and what sort of excited you about it?
It was a very random one. So when I first started working at the QVH, I started over in Burns as a healthcare assistant. And due to having two small young children at the time, I only wanted to work nights. And same as sleep, the Burns unit over in the QVH is only a small unit, it's only 6 beds, and they had to have 2 nurses on, so they didn't actually require me throughout night. So after all my training and induction, I worked there for about a month and basically I wasn't needed. So the recruitment side of things looked and said, oh, well, actually, this job's just come up. It's working over in the Sleep Disorder Centre. Never even heard of it before. And yeah, so I started working nights and I kind of fell in love with it. It just kind of like, I fell into it and I found it fascinating. And yeah, I've been here ever since, nearly 7 years now.
Yeah, no, brilliant. If you wouldn't mind me just sort of asking as well, sort of why sleep in particular? Is it just sort of a personal interest of you? Is there anything in particular that really draws you towards it?
I think because I started in sleep, I literally I find sleep fascinating, literally fascinating. And how every patient's pathology is slightly different as well. It's just a fascinating subject.
Yeah. And I guess just sort of, and this is me going off on a bit of a tangent here, but I guess from your perspective, does your knowledge of sleep, does that have any impact on yourself and how, sort of your experience with sleep, does it have an effect?
No, definitely. So I did fall in love with respiratory whilst I was doing it. I think my love for sleep overtook it slightly, but when I had my time in respiratory, doing all the lung function tests, that was also like eye-opening. I love seeing all the patients, and every patient was slightly different when it came to doing the tests. So yeah, I did love respiratory, but yeah, sleep's overtook slightly, and that's it's my little passion. So
you've been on an apprenticeship. Would you mind explaining how that apprenticeship came about? Was it something that you looked into? Was it something that was sort of offered to you? How did you come about being an apprentice?
So it was offered to me. So just after COVID, they sent out the team was received an email basically saying that this new apprenticeship had come out, and obviously they were offering it all members of staff if you wanted to proceed. We had to go through like an interview process internally to see who was the best candidate for it. And yeah, I managed to get on board. It took a couple of years after that to finally get onboarded with Dynamic. I think it was more internal problems here. We had changes of management. But yeah, then I started the apprenticeship in August 2023. And I completed it this year in May. And I've even got my certificate now. So it's all very exciting.
Fantastic, and congratulations. No, that's really good. Can you explain a little bit about what being an apprentice is like and the sort of tasks you have to do as an apprentice?
So it was a lot of in-house learning. Obviously, you have your modules taught by your tutor. So you have your core modules to begin with, and then you go on to your speciality modules. So mine was sleep and respiratory. The sleep ones were really, I'm not going to say easy is the wrong word. The sleep modules were kind of what I already knew, because I've been in been in the department for so long, I kind of knew the ins and outs of sleep of what I'd learned by myself and via my team. But the respiratory side of things was completely brand new to me, so that was quite challenging. But it was exciting, you know. You had in-house training, you were a lot of shadowing days, lots of going off and basically doing your own research, and then obviously you had your talk modules as well, which was fantastic because the day you have your online module, you learnt so much information, and then to take it back and then put it into work was very beneficial. So
how did you find your time as an apprentice, and how has it helped you within your role in a day-to-day capacity?
So learning to manage my time, it took a couple of attempts during the core modules to make sure that I was giving myself enough time to do the assignments as well as the practical elements. I mean, I really enjoyed it. It's definitely given me more time management skills, especially towards the end. I was basically clearing everything. I knew exactly what I had to do. I set my timetable. In my role, it's the learning I've learned from my apprenticeship is so beneficial. That's why I've got promoted. I started off as a band 3 sleep technician associate, and now I've worked my way up to a band 5 sleep physiologist, basically through learning on the apprenticeship and basically proving myself and working really hard.
So can you explain a little bit more about how your coach supported you throughout your apprenticeship?
So my coach within Dynamic was Jennifer. She was phenomenal. She couldn't have been more supportive if I needed. I could literally contact her at any point, email or via message, and say, I just need a hand doing something. And she would literally say, right, let's put some time in. We'd put time in the calendar, do a Teams call. During the online teaching models, she would check with you. If you looked confused on the camera, she would say, do you want me to go over that again? I couldn't have asked for a better coach, to be fair. I mean, yeah, I've even met her at the ARTP conference, which was also amazing because it was nice to actually physically see someone rather than just a face on a screen. Seeing someone face to face and actually having a conversation was really good. So yeah.
So what are some of the challenges that you faced during your time as an apprentice? Like, were there any particular challenges that maybe you had to overcome, or was it quite an easy ride, would you say?
No, so I would say my ride as an apprentice was quite tricky. We had short staff within the team where I work now. I had problems at home with my oldest child, so it was quite hard. I wouldn't say my journey was easy. It was very challenging. I overcome quite a lot of the challenges, and that is because I have got amazing people behind me, either in-house and with Jen helping me. Yeah, it was very, very, very tough journey, but yeah, I made it.
What was your favourite moment, would you say, of being an apprentice? And are there any particular success stories or achievements that you're particularly proud of?
So attending the ARTP conference was one of my success moments, and also to go to the ARTP conference, I got the grant, and the article I wrote for the Inspire journal was about my apprenticeship journey so far, and so to have that published was the most amazing thing ever. And the fact that the hospital then blew it up on a big poster and stuck it around as well was also amazing. My manager Nisa, she sent me the ARTP conference information, and she's like, you can get a grant because you're a student, but in order to do it you have to write a article. She's like, I think you should write about your apprenticeship journey so far. So I applied, and obviously then they loved the idea and they came back saying this is going to be a great piece. You don't have to write it yet. You can go to the conference first, and then we'll ask you to basically, we'll give you a date when it's going to be published, and we'll ask you to write it. So then after the conference, they sent back saying, send in your article. So I quickly threw something together, had a professional picture taken by a photography team, and it was sent off and then published. So.
What impact would you say this apprenticeship has had on you? Did it open any doors, either within your role or in terms of further opportunities, either from a career or academic perspective?
It definitely opened up more doors for me. I mean, obviously, I've been promoted since completing my apprenticeship, and obviously now there's forward talk about me going on and doing like a level 6 apprenticeship in sleep and respiratory to further my career.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the level 6 is my next port of call, and then to continue on, hopefully do the postgraduate diploma at Bristol in sleep if they're still doing it by the time I get to that point. So yeah, I've got my plan, my footpath worked out. I've got my plan.
Yeah. When you look forward to the rest of your career, where do you picture yourself, going in the long term? What aspirations do you have in your career?
I want to keep working my way up. Want to keep learning. I mean, the industry is ever changing, so you're never going to be sitting there comfortably because there's always new things coming out. There's new developments coming out, new research. So to continue learning and can carry on being on the path within sleep, that's my main focus. I'd like to focus more on sleep. Is just continue learning, continue improving myself. It's never ending journey.
No, brilliant. And then the final question then. What advice would you give to someone who wants to embark on the apprenticeship that you've been on, but isn't sure that they can for whatever reason?
Do it. Literally just do it. There are so many different learners. I mean, I don't want to say older learner, but obviously I was an older learner. I went in, I'm nearly 40, and I didn't think I'd be able to carry on improving myself or learning as I am now, but actually you can do it. And if you've got the right support behind you, I mean, Dynamic have got fantastic tutors, and if your team is 100% behind you, there is no reason as to why you can't do it. And the technology today, I mean, I dictated all my assignments because I'm dyslexic, so I struggle to type and get my words out at the same time. So I find it easy to talk. So I dictated all my assignments and then made them look pretty at the end of it. So there's so many ways out there now for you to be able to complete things like this. And I think it's a great way to improve your career, improve your learning, and just personal development. So